What's up, guys? I'm the True Gooner, and it's just finished at the Emirates. It's Arsenal 2, Tottenham 2. Individual mistakes, just like last week, has cost us yet again. First person I want to get at is Granit Xhaka. What the hell was he doing today? Honestly, the penalty... Son, yes, okay, he's a very dangerous attacking player. You don't want him to cut inside or cut on the outside and go for goal. But what the ball's, he's already played the ball, and what he just rushes in. He's just so reckless when he doesn't have to be. It's just why he keeps getting starts. I do not know. I'll get into my analysis of the game and what I feel, whether it was a fair result or not. But it's these individual mistakes that cost us. It cost us last week at Anfield, even though Liverpool were plain sail the better team. They got the better squad, and I said this in the preview of the Spurs game. But what was Xhaka? What is Xhaka doing, man? Okay, Socrates drifted, probably didn't have to go for the head on the halfway line that basically put Lamela in, but yeah, that was another mistake really for the first goal for them. Literally, what is we're going gun-ho, which is great to see, but we have to have a control. There's got to be a tactician. You've got to manage the game perfectly. Going gun-ho, 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 especially how much of our chances we weren't taking. I'm pretty sure we had about one shot, apart from the goal. Before we scored the goal, the first half an hour, we didn't have a shot on target. That goal by Lacazette, which I will get into, was such a crucial point in the game. And if we don't score that, we weren't going to get anything from this game. I really don't think. I've had to, I've spoken to a few people after the game because I've had some real raw emotions, and I still do. But the more I think about it, the more I do actually think maybe a draw was a fair result. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I am a level-headed Arsenal fan here. I can tell it how it is. Tottenham were the better team in the first half, I'll admit it. But we were absolutely shocking. And we shouldn't have been shocking. And we woke up in the second half, and we were the better team second half. The last 10 minutes, I don't know what we were doing. Tottenham kind of got themselves back into it in the last 10 minutes. I think the VAR goal, the goal that wasn't for us, which was Kolasinac was offside. I kind of think that kind of gassed us out a little bit, and after that, Tottenham kind of got themselves back into the game. We were gassed out. The fans were didn't really know what to do. Neither did the players. And yeah, it just seemed after we scored the goal, our third goal, that was then ruled out for offside. The momentum seemed to shift after that. And then it was more of very end to end. Arsenal going up in the attack, Spurs going up in attack. But it's these individual mistakes that are costing us 3 valuable points against our rivals here. I want to blame Leno. Do I blame Leno for the first goal? Let me know in the comments. I've seen the replay back just now of their first goal. It's a well-taken strike by Lamela, and I actually thought Leno was a lot closer to it, but he wasn't. He literally just got a hand on it. I think what the issue was how easy it was for them to go from a defence to attack, cut us open completely, and expose our defence, which we already know is shocking anyway. But it just goes to show maybe that centre-half partnership isn't, and we knew this anyway, but isn't as great as what we might have thought it could be just temporarily for a season. It's going to be a struggle, and we're going to concede stupid goals. And the way they just cut us open was absolutely ridiculous. Good on their part. I hate to admit it, but it is good on their part. But we shouldn't have let so much space go in there for Lamela to have his strike. And then obviously Leno parried it right onto Eriksen's path, who then got the goal. One thing I do want to talk about, obviously, I don't think he is off to Madrid, Eriksen, but is the same say this time tomorrow he goes to Real Madrid, right? Why did we sell Nacho Monreal? I don't understand it. Kolasinac, he didn't... I wouldn't say he was at massively fault today, but when he's on the pitch, he seems to be the only person... The tactic seems to be that he's our main creative player. Get the ball to Kolasinac, he'll whip it in. We played 3 defensive midfielders. We played Xhaka, we played we played Torreira, we played Xhaka, and we played Guendouzi, who, by the way, had an outstanding game. Shout out Guendouzi. And meaning, us starting Kolasinac, obviously still a Monreal, who's now gone to Sociedad, meant that we did what we were doing last season, which messed up eventually, especially in the Europa final right at the end. Kolasinac was supposed to be our main creative force to feed into the front, to the front three that we've got, and we were just getting massively exposed. And as we all know, Kolasinac is not a left back. It's proven once again today. I've praised the club for what they've done this summer, but was getting rid of Monreal early, before Tony came back, a really bad mistake. I mean, okay, Tony and Bellerin, they're both going to be back in training, hopefully during the international break. Maybe he's ahead. Maybe he can get even more ahead of the schedule and get back before the break, which would be great. But specifically for this game, I think it really did. I know we lost last week, but I still don't think we should have changed the back four, really. The only thing I think that could have been changed was maybe Chambers in for Louise or Socrates. But in terms of the left back and the right back, I don't really think he even put a foot wrong over the last few weeks. And then we get rid of Monreal, we rush Kolasinac back in, and it changes up the back four, and it ruins everything. I think the main, what cost us the 3 points today was 100%. I don't want to say the team selection, but that midfield three of Guendouzi, Torreira and XHAKA, why are we playing so negative in that midfield? We're expecting the front three to do it on their own. You've got to have a Ceballos, you've got to have an Ozil in there. And as we saw, Torreira came off and Ceballos came on. How XHAKA was still on the pitch, I do not know, in terms of the amount of fouls he was making and the fact that Emery just wasn't taking him off and he had a full 90 minutes. I have no idea. But Ceballos came on, changed the game, lit up the place. He was just had an outrageous shot, which was saved by Lloris. Just the way that he goes past players and just thinks about where to make the pass, or passes to someone who he knows can make the pass. It's just great to have a player like Ceballos, like Ozil, who can change the game just with his brain and, where he's going to pass the ball and whatnot. But why one of them did not start, I do not know. But XHAKA today, like I've mentioned, he's supposed to be one of our club captains. I mean, let's face it, Ozil didn't even come on today. He brought on Mkhitaryan instead of Ozil. He brought on Mkhitaryan instead of Nelson. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm a bit half-hearted, and I do think the guys did get the fact that we went 2-0 down in the way that we did. Maybe I should take the point and be happy, but I never want to be happy with a draw against Spurs, especially at home. I take it away from home, apart from I didn't take it away from home last year because we should have won it last year. But when you're 2-0 down in any game, you've got to take the point, really, and we got the point. But we did push for that third goal, and we got the third goal, which was then ruled out for offside with VAR. But then they went up the open, Kane hit the post in the second half, so it, again, could have been a very different game. They crumbled, we took advantage of that, but we just didn't have the cutting edge to finish the game off. And once again, it was the individual mistakes by the likes of XHAKA, which really cost us in that first half. And it was just a clumsy first half overall. But you could argue they weren't really on their full throttle, Spurs. But they were playing exactly how, in that first half, they were playing like they play against City. They were absorbing the pressure and they were breaking on the counter-attack. And it was killing us. It was absolutely killing us. They expose what everyone already knows, and that's the fact that let Arsenal go gun hole, but some teams can't withstand the pressure. And it got to the point with Spurs where in that last half an hour, in that around 45 to 60 to 70 minute mark, they were really just letting us go at them. But they couldn't withstand that pressure. And eventually, we got the equaliser. Fantastic ball over the top from Guendouzi, and a lovely touch from Aubameyang. Obviously, Lacazette came off through that injury. For those of you who went to the game, that's actually why he came off. He did actually signal. The Sky camera showed it, and he came off for Mkhitaryan. A very controversial one. I don't really think Mkhitaryan did that much wrong. But maybe with a Nelson on who's had more minutes in the league, maybe even an Ozil who hasn't had more minutes in the league, but I do think he can create a hell of a lot more than Henrik Mkhitaryan. I think there was other options on the bench that he should have brought on instead of Mkhitaryan. But that's just my opinion. I don't think he's good enough for Arsenal. I thought, based on what happened in the game and the chances that he was getting himself into, I just think he was stepping over the ball a few many times. He's a confidence player, and he's very underconfident. So why are you going to throw him in against Spurs when you're taking off okay, through injury, our best player, who was basically playing defensive midfield at times and up top, he was running back. He was he was being the perfect striker. He was upholding the ball, but he was also doing other people's jobs in running back and getting the ball back. There was a moment, that's 20 minutes, half an hour period in the second half. They couldn't handle us. We were all over them, and the fact we didn't get the 3 points really frustrates me. But at the same time, I've got to look at the perspective here. We were 2-0 down in this game. We could have been dead and buried. The goal from Lacazette just before half-time was a goal that just needed scoring. That needed to happen for us. And if that doesn't go in, it changes their half-time team talk. It changes our half-time team talk. I actually think they probably would have bang on Ceballos at half-time. But he kept it going for a little while and then he bang on Ceballos. I don't know. I just think the team selection today has kind of cost us the 3 points. I think the lack of creativity in that midfield was so clear to see. We were so focused on dominating the midfield through bullying them, but then the midfield was non-existent because their through balls were just getting past everyone. And the whole point of having 3 defensive midfielders was that we were supposed to be solid at the back. It did not work whatsoever, and they punished us in the first half, and it's cost us 3 points today, 100%. Pepe, I actually think had a decent game. I think all he needs now is a goal. Once he gets if he has a drought now after the international break when he comes back, and if he doesn't get the goal, it's going to play on his mind. He's not going, he's going to play slow, lethargic eventually, but he will get the goal eventually. He's promising signs. He's been great. Aubameyang, once he went through the middle, took his chance, great goal. Lacazette was great today, but like XHAKA, Kolasinac wasn't great, but again, it's his first start of the season. I don't really want to put too much blame on him, but XHAKA, he's supposed to be a club captain, one of the alleged captains, and he didn't. He had 7 fouls today. The man could have been sent off as well, but the stupid penalty decision, I don't see what Emery sees in him to play him for 90 minutes instead of keeping on Torreira for him. But I just don't know. The guy divides opinion. I don't like hitting him a scapegoat, but I just think he's let himself down today. And of all games as well, this is the game where everyone's got to stand up and be counted for. And in the first half, we had a plan, but again, we weren't the better team in the first half. We didn't wake up at all. We were sloppy. We were lethargic. You're thinking this is the derby. You've got to be up for it. But we weren't up for it. It was so frustrating. But second half, they brought it back. Well, we got the goal just before half-time somehow. And then we got the equaliser. We didn't push on. We didn't get the 3 points. And that is what it is, really. We go into the international break with 7 points from a possible 12. 1 win, 2 wins, 2 draws and a loss. It could be a hell of a lot worse. Again, sorry for my voice. I've lost it from watching this game. Crazy game of football as well, as it always is, a North London derby. But I am, as you can tell, very, very gutted. I actually think both sides will probably be gutted with the point based on what happened in the game. But we move on now after the international break. I think we have Man United in a couple of weeks, but we have a team before that. I'm not actually sure who we've got in our next game after the international break. Oh no, wait, I do. It's Watford away. We play Watford away after the international break. So who are bottom of the league right now, so they'll probably end up beating us, knowing Arsenal. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoy the international break.